Cobalt Red, How the Blood of the Congo Powers Our Lives. Author, Siddharth Kara. Year of publication, 2023. Published by St. Martin's Press. Cobalt Red, How the Blood of the Congo Powers Our Lives, by Siddharth Kara, is a deeply researched and harrowing account of the human cost behind the global demand for cobalt. Cobalt is a critical component in the production of rechargeable batteries used in smartphones, electric vehicles, and various electronic devices. The book exposes the dark side of this essential mineral, which is predominantly sourced from the Democratic Republic of the Congo, DRC. Siddharth, a renowned author and human rights activist, sheds light on the appalling conditions faced by the Congolese miners who extract this valuable resource, often under life-threatening and exploitative circumstances. Introduction: The global dependency on cobalt. Cobalt Red begins by highlighting the increasing global dependency on cobalt, driven by the surge in demand for rechargeable batteries. As the world transitions to greener technologies, the need for cobalt has skyrocketed, making it a highly sought-after commodity. The DRC is the world's largest producer of cobalt, supplying over 70% of the global market. However, this wealth of resources has not translated into prosperity for the local population. Instead, the Congolese people have been trapped in a cycle of poverty, exploitation, and violence as multinational corporations and local elites profit from the cobalt trade. The human cost of cobalt mining. Siddharth provides a visceral account of the human suffering associated with cobalt mining in the DRC. He travels to the heart of the mining regions, documenting the lives of the miners, many of whom are children, who work in appalling conditions. These miners, often referred to as artisanal miners, work with their bare hands, using rudimentary tools to extract cobalt from the earth. The work is extremely dangerous, with frequent landslides, tunnel collapses, and exposure to toxic substances. Miners work long hours for meager pay, often earning just a few dollars a day, while facing the constant threat of physical abuse, sexual violence, and extortion by armed groups and corrupt officials. Child labor and exploitation. One of the most shocking aspects of Cobalt Red is its exploration of child labor in the cobalt mines. Siddharth reveals that tens of thousands of children, some as young as 6, are forced to work in these mines to support their families. These children endure grueling conditions, working in deep, narrow tunnels with little ventilation, exposing them to dust, heavy metals, and other toxins. The physical toll is devastating, leading to chronic health problems, injuries, and in some cases, death. Siddharth also documents the psychological impact on these children, who are deprived of education and a normal childhood, leaving them with little hope for a better future. Environmental devastation. In addition to the human cost, Siddharth also highlights the environmental destruction caused by cobalt mining. The extraction process has led to the contamination of water sources, deforestation, and the destruction of local ecosystems. Rivers and streams near mining sites are polluted with toxic waste, poisoning the water supply and leading to widespread health problems among local communities. The environmental degradation further exacerbates the poverty and suffering of the Congolese people, as they are left to deal with the long-term consequences of a ravaged landscape. The role of multinational corporations. Cobalt Red also examines the role of multinational corporations in perpetuating the exploitation in the DRC. Siddharth criticizes these companies for turning a blind eye to the human rights abuses in their supply chains. Despite their public commitments to corporate social responsibility, many of these corporations continue to source cobalt from mines where child labor and exploitation are rampant. Siddharth argues that these companies prioritize profits over people, taking advantage of the weak governance and lack of regulation in the DRC to secure cobalt at the lowest possible cost. Global implications and ethical responsibilities. Siddharth's book serves as a wake-up call to the global community about the true cost of our reliance on cobalt. He argues that consumers and corporations alike have a moral responsibility to address the human rights abuses in the cobalt supply chain. Siddharth calls for greater transparency and accountability from corporations, urging them to trace the origins of the cobalt they use and ensure that it is sourced ethically. He also advocates for stronger international regulations to protect the rights of miners and hold companies accountable for their actions. Potential solutions. In the latter part of the book, Siddharth explores potential solutions to the crisis in the DRC. He emphasizes the need for fair trade practices, where miners are paid a living wage and work under safe conditions. Siddharth also advocates for investment in local communities, including education, healthcare, and infrastructure, to help lift people out of poverty and reduce their dependence on exploitative mining practices. Additionally, he calls for a global shift towards more sustainable and ethical sourcing of minerals, including the development of alternative materials and recycling technologies to reduce the demand for newly mined cobalt. Conclusion: a call to action. Cobalt Red is a powerful and urgent call to action. Siddharth's meticulous research and compelling narrative bring to light the hidden suffering behind the devices we use every day. He challenges readers to confront the uncomfortable truth about the cobalt that powers our lives, and to demand change from the corporations that profit from this exploitation. The book is not just an exposé of the dark side of the cobalt trade, but a plea for global solidarity and justice for the people of the DRC. Reception and impact. Cobalt Red has been praised for its thorough investigation and compassionate portrayal of the Congolese miners' plight. Critics have lauded Siddharth for his courage in bringing this issue to the forefront of public consciousness, and for his clear-eyed analysis of the complex factors driving the cobalt trade. The book has sparked important discussions about the ethics of consumerism and the responsibility of corporations in the global supply chain. It has also inspired calls for more sustainable and ethical sourcing practices in the tech industry. In summary, Cobalt Red by Siddharth is a sobering exploration of the human and environmental toll of cobalt mining in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Through vivid storytelling and rigorous research, Siddharth exposes the exploitation and suffering that underpin the global demand for cobalt. The book serves as a powerful reminder of the interconnectedness of our world and the ethical responsibilities that come with it.